Welcome to Kansas Aviation.
Welcome to Kansas Aviation.
Welcome to Kansas Aviation in the Kansas Department of Transportation Aviation Division. This is our first monthly briefing in March of 2012. February of 2012 was quite a busy month for us. On February the 3rd, we partnered with the Kansas Commission on Aerospace Education to offer a continuing legal education course in Benton, Kansas. Participants in that course included aviation insurance providers, members of the aviation industry, airport managers, pilots, and of course aviation attorneys. On February 9th, the aviation staff met with the city staff in Greensburg, Kansas to discuss the administration of their current airport development grant and the potential site for their new airport. On February 10th, we held a Law Enforcement Operations on Airports course in Johnson County. This is the third course that we've offered in cooperation with the Drug Enforcement Administration and the Transportation Security Administration.
We did a brown bag presentation in the agency in the middle of the month. We invited everybody across KDOT to come in and join. What we wanted to do was highlight the applicability of the airspace awareness tool, not just to aviation matters, but to other projects across the agency. US 69, there's a project there. In the future, they want to develop it out. They're going to realign the highway around Pittsburgh's airport. So it gets real close to the airspace there, and we showed how you can plot out lines, how you could draw lines, 15-foot obstructions that roadways are, as they're considered by the FAA. Went into a lot of detail with them.
On February 17th, the Kansas Aviation Advisory Committee held its quarterly meeting in Topeka. Many of the participants arrived by general aviation aircraft at Topeka Billard Airport. The committee was greeted by Acting Secretary Rankin, who delayed a meeting with a legislative committee to welcome this dedicated group of volunteers. The meeting was considered successful and productive by the participants. One recommendation was the creation of videos emphasizing the importance of aviation in Kansas. On February 22nd, aviation staff participated in the Leavenworth County Commission meeting. On February 23rd, the division hosted an inspector's training in Hutchinson, Kansas. George will explain the importance of this program.
I also manage the annual airport safety inspection program for the state of Kansas. Kansas is unique in this regard in that most states have a full-time person at the headquarters that is responsible for actually doing all of the inspections. In Kansas, we have an inspector, a trained inspector in each of the 6 districts. In fact, we just appointed, or not we, but the district engineers just appointed 2 new inspectors in Districts 2 and Districts 3, and they're going to be going to FAA inspector training in April at FAA expense, and we're looking forward to having those 2 guys on board. This is a contract program by which the FAA contracts with the state of Kansas and pays us to go out there and do these inspections. They pay us $650 an airport for a total of $28,000 in fiscal year 2012. So they ran into some problems in getting the contract out to us, so we're a little bit behind schedule on that, but the contract's been executed now. It was executed in February, and we're looking forward to nice spring weather and getting our inspectors out there and waiting for the leaves to come back on the trees so that we can get some good readings of any new obstructions that might be causing some problems for the airports.
On February 27th, I was honored to be a keynote speaker at the Oklahoma Airport Operators Conference. I emphasized the importance of regional partnerships and the value of aviation to the region's economy.
When we looked at airspace cases in Kansas, we had 42 of them that were proposed in the month of February. They were clustered around 2 wind farms, one in southeast Kansas near Elk County, outside of the airport, the other in south central Kansas in Harper, outside of that airport.
Neither of these projects was determined to interfere with airspace.
Well, we're right on schedule with the fiscal year 2013 Kansas Airport Improvement Program. We've gotten all 28 grants out to the sponsors for a total of $3 million. 18 of those have come back, been signed by the Secretary, and we're ready to go.
In particular, construction maintenance asked us to consider, when we have proposed wind turbines, how close they are to highways and interstates. See, there's an industry standard. This is something new that we learned. There's an industry standard in wind turbine development that says you have to be so far away from the wingtip blade of a wind turbine to the center line of a roadway. So they take in several things in consideration, if one breaks, if there's wind, if ice flies off of it. There's a lot of safety considerations. So when we're looking at all the wind turbines now across the state, we're not just looking at its proximity to airports and penetration of airspace, but now we're looking at its proximity to Kansas roadways, highways, interstates. So already we've been able to identify, there was a wind farm that was proposed southwest of Dodge that was proposed last year. But I went back and looked at all of them and found a couple turbines that were really close to some of our highways. So construction and maintenance and planning have already gone out there, contacted the developers, and negotiated out where that space should be. And because it's in the planning stage, we caught it early enough that changes like that can occur without a lot of, without that company, without that developer having to incur a lot of costs.
Every 2 years we publish an airport directory, which is used by pilots in the cockpit to navigate around the airports, shows the runway configuration, ramps, things of that nature. And this is the year that we're going to go ahead and we're scheduled to do another update to that directory. That's currently underway. It'll be finished by the end of April. So we've gotten a lot of requests from pilots and anticipating and anxious to get the latest airport information, and we're on top of that, and we're running smoothly.
The division had the opportunity to consult with a couple of outside agencies as well, the Kansas Department of Commerce and the Kansas Department of Wildlife, Parks and Tourism.